We're Cheryl,
Edit that.
Steve,
No idea what that's all about.
and Lola.
We could be going anywhere.
Join us as we pitch up and travel all around the UK.
In this week's vlog, man in red car has some pretty bad road rage. There's an altercation with some cows in a field.
We're in the hedge.
There's a fight on the waltzers.
There's a lot of shouting and swearing.
A random man jumps off random building for no reason whatsoever.
Oi, oi!
Oi, oi, chicken pie.
Is it?
Oi, oi, chicken pie.
Anyway, we're just heading off for our Welsh road trip. We are missing a passenger. We've just got to pick her up from school. How cool. She's so lucky, isn't she?
Yeah.
Imagine getting picked up from school in Marge. Yay! We have our passenger. Good day, school now? No. Oh, okay. Well, holidays now. I won't go into that. Right. Let's find a motorway and head which way?
West.
West
To Wales.
Yeah, I knew that.
There's no traffic. We're heading towards the M6 in Birmingham, so that's going to change.
Yeah, don't speak too soon.
Yay! 7,000 miles in 4 years. Is that all?
Yeah, we're going to put a fair few on there this year.
Can highly recommend, what are they called? Gloucester services?
Yeah, nice.
M5, not quite sure which junctions, but very nice inside. We haven't done much filming of our journey on the way here because it's 90s day on Radio 2 today, and the tunes have been way too good to stop them or turn them down and record anything. So sorry about that. Be short highlights reel.
Right, we've got 23 miles to go. Here we are at the Daisy Paddock. So shall we go?
Sausage roll for some energy. Yep, let's go. There's friend next door. Moira. Hello, Moira. This is Marge. Let's go.
So a lovely spot. We've just had a really lovely welcome. There's a little toilet there. Elson Disposal Recycling over that way. Choice of our pitches. They're all running along the hedge here.
Very nice.
The owners live in a big van over the other side of the field. Just up there. lovely sleep at the Daisy Paddock last night. I wasn't sure really what we were going to be in for with a £10 site, but it was perfect. And even when we saw the train line, we were a bit like, oh my goodness. But actually, I didn't hear any trains in the night, did you?
No, nothing.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Yate Road, B4059.
The first one I heard was about 6:30 this morning, but they weren't noisy. And actually it was quite nice to just lay in bed and watch the trains go past. So we are just navigating our way now to Wales.
Take the next right onto Yate Road, B4059.
For our trip to Barry Island. So we're going to go and spend the whole day exploring Barry Island. The sun is shining. It's not particularly warm yet, but it'll be a nice day for the seaside. Going to go and see if we can find a few of the sites from Gavin and Stacey, because we're all quite big fans of that. So that'll be good fun. So we'll take you with us. So we're just heading up to the Prince of Wales Bridge to head over the River Severn. Welcome to Wales! We're in Wales!
Hey!
Delayed reaction.
So we'd entered Wales, and our first experience was a lovely bit of road rage. Apologies for the quality of the picture here. I've switched to our dash cam and ignore the date and time. I've no idea how to set it, it's well out. Anyway, we're cruising along on the inside lane, doing about 50 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour speed limit. There's plenty of cars on the right hand lane overtaking us, so there's nowhere to go. Spot this lovely red Corsa joining from the left. I don't quite know what he's expecting me to do, but he pulls in front of me. I have to slow down, I get a bit close, I can't do much else. Apparently it's all my fault, and he gives me a lovely middle finger. Anyway, for the next mile or two, he decides to proceed at about 30 miles an hour. I've speeded the footage up a little bit, and as we leave the slip road, he slows right down to 20, just to make life a little bit interesting. He obviously was a very, very angry man, and as he left at the next junction, I've slowed it down. You can just about see in his mirror, it gives me another birdie. Oh, nice. Welcome to Wales.
So first stop, we've come to Pam and Mick's house in Dinas Powys. Obviously in the show it's Essex. So from Pam and Mick's house, we went into Barry up Trinity Street to have a look at Stacey and Gwen and Doris's house, which you can see on the left here. The lady that owns it currently loves to receive visitors. So we hopped out to go and take a bit of a closer look at where the filming happens on this famous street, and I'm sure any of you that have watched the show will recognise this scene. So you can see that the lady she's got photos in the window of the cast and that when they're on the street. She encourages you to take photographs, and occasionally there's a sign on the door that she opens the house and you can actually go in and visit. So we popped down to Barry Island just to check out where we were going to walk to later, and we had to head back up Trinity Street on the way to our campsite. And as we were driving up the road, I spotted something and realised it was Steve's phone case. He hadn't even realised it was missing. So we've arrived at our stop just outside of Barry, the Vale Park Hotel and Touring Park. It literally is like a garden next to the little hotel. Toilet block and shower blocks down there. I've not been to have a look. I mean, all the reviews and the pitch up say it's next to a busy road, which it is because it's next to the road that goes to Cardiff Airport. But we don't find that we hear much noise when we're in Marge anyway. So just having a little flask of coffee, parking up, getting a level, and then we're going to head into Barry to go to Barry Island and do the pleasure park.
So, following on from our last video of Cheryl getting us hopelessly lost in a bog near Sandringham, we are now parked up in Barry Island and we're heading off on a walk. It's 12 o'clock now and we're going to follow a new app we've got, which is the Ordnance Survey map. So we'll see. So yeah, it's 12 o'clock. We're planning to be back at about 6, 7ish.
You sure this is the way?
Yeah, because I've got an Ordnance Survey map.
Right.
Can't go wrong. Literally opposite that building. It's the pub heading for the sea. Look at the sea, it's amazing.
Anyway, he says he knows where he's going because he's got a new app with a map on. But we'll see, huh? We could be going anywhere. So, what's just happened?
Saw a plane land at Cardiff Airport.
We did, but why are we walking back?
Because we thought it was a really nice scenic route, so we'd like to walk it again.
Did you get us lost, Steve?
No.
Did you take us the wrong way, Steve?
No.
You did. So we're just getting back to where we started the walk. See if we can find the right way to go this time. And they just point to the sign that you missed. I thought you might have used a different finger. We've found the actual path now, so that's good. It's very off the beaten track though, quite overgrown in places. Maybe it's not been walked for a while. Now this might be the reason the path is not very well walked. There's a tree down, so we're just navigating our way through.
Use the one on your left.
Well, when it goes, it's going to swing back.
Coming through. Northern tree holder.
Some things aren't filming, you know.
want to clarify a point on this next sequence you're about to see, because it's a little bit chaotic and might not make a complete sense. So basically, we're on our walk, we cross the bridge, and then we're on a nice little meander through this field. The first thing that happened was one cow suddenly appeared over the brow of the hill and gently meandered towards us, nice slow walk, just to come and say hello.
We crossed this bridge, walked up this field, and this giant bullock came charging over the hill towards us, followed by about 50 of his bullock friends.
As this one cow slowly meandered towards us, a couple of his friends came along. I would say maybe 15 at the most. They all thought, oh, what's that? That looks interesting. We'll have a slow stroll over and say hello to these lovely people walking through our field.
So as we were walking through the field, these 50 bullocks, and they were bullocks, came charging, like running, out of breath running towards us. So Lola and I decided to hop into the hedge just because they were coming really fast.
As these 20-ish at maximum cows slowly walked towards us, Cheryl, completely freaked out, threw her toys out the pram, started screaming and shouting, and pretty much launched herself into a bush. Unfortunately, she grabbed hold of Lola and dragged her in there with her, so she had no choice but to go in.
So Lola was frightened, I was frightened, but these cows were really charging, and Steve was trying to wow them away and nothing was happening. He was completely circled by cows. So Lola and I got in the hedge, and then the cows were trying to get us in the hedge. You'll see from the video, the cows were trying to come in the hedge to get us.
As Cheryl launched herself into the bush with no regard for her or Lola's safety, these cows came to a gradual halt just to say hello. I said hello to them and said, would you mind kindly moving along now? I gave them a little bit of a clap and a bit of a roar, and they gradually made their way down the hill. A couple of them decided to stay, and very, very briefly, from quite a distance, at least 20 yards, peered at Cheryl and Lola, cowering in the bush.
So as we were in the bush and Steve was wiring them away, they took ages to go. They weren't listening to him at all. He was actually having to whack them on the rump like a proper farmer. So the cows are right close. I could have touched its nose. It was a metre away, like hoofing, trying to get into the hedge. Two came, one from each angle, to try and get to us.
I gently stroked one cow who wasn't too keen on it, and they all just moved away. I then said to Cheryl and Lola, you can come out the bush now and carry on walking. But because one of them was within a mile, they both refused to move until it had probably been shot and turned into burgers.
Steve said, come out now or you're going to be there all night. But this cow was still stood there. He was at like a metre away, and we knew if we came out, he would follow us. So we said we weren't coming out until this cow got shooed off down the field.
And then we basically just carried on walking, and it was quite funny. I'd just like to emphasise one point, though. When you listen to Cheryl screaming and squawking and making a right drama out of this crisis, don't be fooled into thinking she's just doing it for YouTube, because that's what she does every time she sees a cow within a 10-mile radius. Oh, and let's not even get started on horses.
We're in the hedge. Just stay here. Oh God.
Can we get out that way?
No. No.
Get rid of them ones.
Make them ones go down the hill and then we'll...
Okay.
It's that one. If you get rid of them two, I'm coming out, but until they've all gone down there, I'm not coming out.
But they're really creepy.
It's not going.
Well, you'll be all night then.
Right, Mum, just go.
Yeah.
I don't like it. The cows, they all came running at us.
Then what happened? What they did?
Nothing.
We survived.
We got attacked.
Right.
No.
Utterly ridiculous.
It's really scary. There was a massive load of them, and one of them was just staring at us.
Like a million cows.
It was. Why are we going to come?
Size of King Kong.
And even when we were in the hedge, they were trying to get us.
True. I banged my head as well. Could have got concussion from the cows.
Well, I must say, Steve, if there was an award for cow scaring, you'd have got it. You moved
Well
them on
practiced.
beautifully.
That was actually really good.
Welcome to Barry Castle. Oh, yum yum. Thank you.
Let's get scared, dog. Why are you nervous?
Because I've never been on a ghost train
It'll be amazing.
Oh, they stopped touching my head. Did you get a
Whoa, this is really fast. I can't film any of this.
There's a big fight going on the waltzes. Drama. Lola, what's happening?
So these girls sat down and they didn't have their tokens. And the guy came over and said, "Where are your tokens?" And they said, "We don't know." And then they've now taken their tokens but won't let them on. And there's a lot of shouting and swearing.
Fight. Hey, come on here, it's getting busy. Still on the waltzes.
They've not moved for like 5 minutes. Fight.
I'd like to say we're getting our money's worth because we're normally over in 3 seconds, but we haven't even started.
It's quite funny. It's a lot of drama, so I'm happy to have paid.
Come to Wales. So far we've had road rage, waltzer rage, and
Cornered by cow.
cornered by cat road rage.
There we go, we're
Cheryl
moving
being
now.
drama queen. Oh, we're off. fishing.
I want to go a bit further away. The phone's going to come right.
Learn 9 a.m. coffees this month and get decaf instead. Bring it.
I'm telling you, I've just filmed for very much longer.
Ready? Let's go. Let's
It went so fast and my head stuck to the side that I couldn't lift it up.
So after the guys got dizzy on the waltzers, we headed to the beach and watched a random man attach himself to a piece of rope and jump on a lady's head on the beach. Very strange. But as Steve was still feeling so dizzy from the waltzers, we got a taxi and headed back to Marge for a well-earned cup of tea and a rest. If you like what we do, please click the thumbs up on this video and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to receive notifications of when we post again. You can also find us, the Pitched Up Wanderers, on Instagram and Facebook. Join us in our next video where we'll be wandering around the Pembrokeshire coast.